Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Kendall. So today I'm going to be going over my May TBR. It is a lot. It's a lot more than I thought it was. But I kind of went overboard, but some of it, you'll see what I mean. But May is a busy month for me. I don't know about you guys. Not just like with events or anything going on, but like I have like 3 birthdays that we celebrate in May. You know, there's Mother's Day, there is my parents' anniversary, so there's a lot happening, a lot going on in May. And then we have the Bookathon that is being hosted by Ashley and Keisha, and I'm very excited for that. That is this week. And then we have I have a reading sprints that I'm doing with Olivia and Kayla, and we are also going to be buddy reading a book together. And then Olivia is doing a 24-hour readathon that I'm going to be participating in. So there's a lot happening in May, and that's just the first half of all the stuff that's going on. So let's just go ahead and get into the books that I'm going to be reading this month. Have a look on Keisha's page to remember all of the Bookathon details. So the Bookathon is basically a spooky middle grade readathon. May is halfway to October, which is halfway to Halloween and all the fall and spooky vibes. It's Keisha and Ashley co-hosting, and I will leave their links down below. And it is May 1st through the 7th. They're going to have reading prompts, photo prompts, giveaway, reading sprints, and a group read with a live show. It sounds amazing. And I was like, I've been wanting to get more into middle grade, and the spooky ones are the ones that are like calling to me. So I'm going to get to those. So let's get started. The ones that I am reading for the Bookathon, I'll read you the prompts. One of them is read a book with something on the cover that scares you. And for that one, I picked Doll Bones by Holly Black. Look how creepy the cover is. Look at that doll. I do not like dolls. There's a lot of things I don't like. I don't really mind horror movies all that much, but I don't like clowns. I don't like dolls. I don't like possessed people when they are like old people that are possessed or children that are possessed, because that just creeps me out more. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you if you asked me, but I just know that's what it is. So I'm very excited to be reading this one. I know a girl that I am friends with on Instagram as well named Brenna. She is reading this one as well, and she is scared of dolls, just like I am. So I figure we're going to be able to relate to each other with this read. So you're following these 3 kids, Alice, Poppy, and Zach. They have been friends for as long as they can remember. And they basically play this game that's a bunch of like pretend, and it has mermaids and mythical creatures and things like that. And then they have the doll is called the Great Queen, and she is who imprisons them. So they're growing up and they're going to middle school now, and then Zach's father is like, you need to stop playing make-believe and playing with these girls and do basketball and stuff. So Zach ends up doing just what his father wants him to do. But then Poppy, you know, I think is just not ready for it to be over. So she starts telling Zach and Alice about her dreams that she's having about the queen. So then you have these 3 kids who are doing this one last adventure to put this queen and this doll to rest. But then things are starting to come to life, and is the doll really a doll, or is there something darker that's happening here? The next book, or the next reading prompt, is to read a book with a creepy word in the title. Mine, I chose Whispering Pines by Heidi Lang and Katie Barkowski. I believe is how you say her name. I picked this one because when I think of whispering, I don't think of like whispering like secrets or just, you know, like normal people would think of whispering, I guess. I think of whispering as like being creepy and, you know, things that you hear, all this other stuff. And I think that this book, you know, the cover pretty much sums it up, that it's very, you know, creepy at least. I don't really know much about this one. I kind of want to go into this one blind, so I'm not going to read the synopsis. I'll read what the back says on the book, but I have no idea. I just want to see what it's like. It says, play it safe and leave the woods alone. Curfew begins at sunset, no students out after dark. Parents or recognized guardians must pick up students from school following any after-school activities. Garlic is to be eaten, not worn. Absolutely no chalk allowed. The second field is closed due to a sudden sinkhole appearance. All outdoor activities will now be scheduled on the first field only. No wearing red. This includes shirts, pants, hats, and lipstick. No cell phone use within school grounds. I don't know what's going on here, but apparently there is this weird sinkhole that appears, and things are probably going to start happening. I'm very excited about this. I have had this book for so long, it feels like, and I am just ready to pick it up and read it. The next prompt is read a book with illustrations or mixed media. I was very confused, not confused, but very, I didn't know what I wanted to pick for this one. And so I just happened to be out shopping with my best friend and her mom read this book, and she was like, you have to read it. It is so good. You'll love it. And I can't exactly remember who it was that told me, but somebody told me that there's a movie for this book, and they were like, you have to watch the movie as soon as you finish the book. And I was like, well, you best believe that's what I'm going to do. So I can't wait to do that. But the book is A Monster Calls, and it is by Patrick Ness. And this is, it's a book. It feels like a graphic novel when you hold it, but it is written as a book, and it has mixed media, you know, and illustrations and stuff like that. So I'm very excited. It looks very creepy, as you can see on the cover. You can also see that it's won 2 awards at least. And the synopsis isn't really that long, so I'm going to read this back for you guys. It says, the monster showed up after midnight, as they do, but it isn't the monster Connor's been expecting, the one from the nightmare he's had nearly every night since his mother started her treatments, the one with the darkness and the wind and the screaming. The monster is something different, something ancient, something wild, and it wants the truth. I am very excited. I think this one is kind of like, the way they explain it to me, this one's gonna creep me out. You know, you can tell, but it also has it has some life lessons in it and some very important messages to convey, which I always love when you can enjoy something and you can still get a message or lesson out of it. And the last book is a group read that Keisha and Ashley picked out that we're all going to be reading together to kind of wrap up, I think, the bookathon, and it is Strange Star by Emma Carroll. This is supposed to be like a gothic type of thriller book. You can tell. So this book takes place in Switzerland in the early 1800s. There's this mysterious villa called Villa Diodati, and there is this message that shows up one day, and they are hosting a storytelling at this villa, and it's going to be creepy stories, and people are starting to arrive. And Felix, who is in the story, he is a servant boy. He hears a knock at the door, goes to get the door, and there's this girl just standing there, and she's starting to tell this story, and Felix, you know, he's like, I have to listen to this. But her story is more than just a ghost story, and, you know, it's saying that the truth is far more, could be far scarier than a ghost story. So I'm very excited for this. It sounds really creepy, but I hope that it has some, like, cute little elements in it as well. But yeah, I'm very excited. So those are my reads that I picked out for the bookathon. I am going to get into what I'm going to read for the rest of the month before I go into like the buddy read and the 24-hour readathon. So this basically, having this bookathon and having Olivia's 24-hour readathon, which I'll explain later to you, made me want to just read anything that has to do with like spooky, like little witchy vibes and stuff like that, for the month of May to go along with the rest of my reads. And I picked up a lot of middle grade that I have been wanting to read for a while now, and I was like, I'm sticking with the theme of like spookiness for May because I think it would be a good theme to go along with the rest of my books. So one that I haven't gotten yet, but that I'm going to pick up is Small Spaces by Katherine Arden. I do not know what this one is about at all. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of Keisha's favorites, and I'm pretty sure this is like, I mean, I know it's high up on her list, and so I had to pick this up, and I thought that it would be a perfect read. And I know there's a sequel to it called Dead Voices. I don't know if there are any other books that are supposed to come out or not. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that this one's going to be a good one. I, again, don't really know what this one's about. Going in blind. I like to do that sometimes. So we are going to try that out and see how it is. But I have high hopes for this, especially if Keisha liked it. The next one, I don't know if I've heard people talk about. I've heard a few people mention it, I believe. But this one I've just seen every time I go into like a Barnes & Noble. And it just looks so appealing. And so I got it. And it is Eva Evergreen Semi-Magical Witch by Julie Abe. And I think it's because it gives me like Kiki's Delivery Service vibes from the cover. You know, you have your little bitty witch and you have her little sidekick to go along with her. So Eva's having to go through this test. She's about to turn 13 and she has to pass this test to be a witch in order for her not to lose her powers again or at all. But she doesn't really have as much magic as everybody else does, and she doesn't want to tell anybody that. And even if she overuses her magic, she ends up falling asleep. So she's not, you know, this big powerful witch like everybody else might be. But she lands in this town called Oteri, I think is how you say it. But they are just excited to have a witch in town, and they think that the powers that she has are these big magical powers. So she is working in this town in Oteri and sets up this magical repair shop, and she's taking care of these people in this town basically. And I think the whole thing is coming to is the magic that she has, is that enough for her and enough for what she wants to do with her life basically. The next three that I have picked out are middle grade spooky graphic novels. So I picked out a good bit. It looks like I'm gonna have a lot of books, but in all fairness, they're not going to be hard to go through or read. So I think that I can do this. We're going to do this. The first one I picked out is Witches of Brooklyn, and it is by Sophie Escobar, I believe is how you say your name. Correct me if I'm wrong. Look how adorable this is. This is our main character, Effie, and she is just the cutest thing alive to me. So she has these two aunts, and they're not like normal aunts. They're cool aunts. If you get that reference, I love you. And she's like, well, maybe they are magical, and maybe I'm magical. And I think the illustrations in it look very adorable and very cute. And it's just, I have a feeling that Effie is going to cause some chaos, which I love when they do that. So this one should be a really good read. The next one I have, people have been telling me to read. People have said that it is amazing and that I will love it. It does have another book as well as a sequel, but it is The Okay Witch by Emma Steinkellner, I believe is how you say her name. I'm a little upset because my copy is a little messed up, but it's okay. So this is our 13-year-old main character named Moth Hush. And is she not so cute? And I love when they have little sidekicks, and this cat making my day. So she has always been like, she thinks witches are cool, and Moth thinks that, you know, they are very interesting. And then one day these bullies are, you know, trying to ruin her Halloween, but something very strange happens. So Moth starts realizing that her family is in the middle of all of these generations of witches, and she is finding out that she has powers, and she finds this talking cat, and things are just happening all around Moth, And I think this is going to be a big, like, I love when they have like self-discoveries in the books. And so I think that there's going to be a big one in this one. And I mean, the illustrations are cute. The story sounds cute. Right up my alley. I love the cuteness that this graphic novel is giving off. Okay, and the last like middle grade spooky book that I got for this month is Beetle and the Hollow Bones by Eliza Lane. It's like a little goblin girl and her little friend. So she is a 12-year-old goblin witch named Beetle. I love her. She does not want to go to school. She wants to spend time with her best friend. Guess what his name is? Blob Ghost. Like, Beetle and Blob Ghost? It's the cutest freaking thing I've ever heard. But for some reason, Beetle is getting bored with the mall. But the mall is where Blob Ghost has to stay because he is, you know, stuck there and has to haunt it. And her old best friend Kat is in town for a sorcery apprenticeship. And everything is just moving on without Beetle, and she feels left behind. But something happens to where Blob Ghost has to leave or get out of this mall, or the afterlife is going to be very messed up, basically. And Kat needs to stand up for herself, so Beetle has to help Blob Ghost and Kat and save her town. So this is going to be a very interesting story. I think that the inside is absolutely gorgeous. And I have high expectations for this. A goblin witch named Beetle and a ghost named Blob Ghost. I cannot. I don't understand the cuteness it's getting to me. So I am very excited for this one. This one's probably my most anticipated for this month. The next book that I'm going to read, I am going to be buddy reading with Kayla and Olivia this month. We decided to pick up Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I hate stickers on books. I especially hate ones that look like stickers and aren't. But yeah, Olivia, I watched her May TBR, her May TBR video, and she's going into this blind, so it kind of makes me want to go into it blind. Kayla mentioned that the reviews and ratings are like really good for this book, so we have high hopes for this, and I'm very excited to just buddy read with them and then get to talk about what we're reading and things like that. It's going to be so much fun. I'm very excited for this one. And the last two books I'm also going to be buddy reading with Olivia during her 24-hour readathon. I think these are the two that I'm hoping to get through, and then I'm going to try and basically, hopefully, if I can get through these two, I'm going to add another one. But I'm gonna, you know, since I have such a big TBR, I'm gonna be okay with reading what I have. The first one hasn't come in yet, but I did get it in my Book of the Month box, and it is Book of Night by Holly Black. And I'm very excited for this. I'm not going to go into detail about what these are about because I did in my anticipated reads for 2022 video. If you want to go back and watch that if you haven't. And then the very last one is Insomnia by Sarah Pinborough, which again, I have done that. I haven't read Behind Her Eyes yet, but I did pick it up because Olivia was like, you need to read it. You need to read it. It's so good. So I'm excited for that. But me and Olivia are going to meet up and, you know, chat and do some things and start our buddy reading. And it's just, I'm so excited for this. May is going to be such an interesting month. But that is the end of this video, and I cannot wait for all of the books that I have planned to read in May. It's going to be so much fun, and I'm just so excited. I cannot wait for all the spooky vibes and the buddy reads. So if you made it to this part in the video, go ahead and leave me a spooky little emoji down in the comments below, whether it's like a ghost or it can be a mythical creature like a mermaid or vampire, and tell me what you were most excited to read this month as well, and I will see you guys in the next video.